Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have for you an amazing short clip from last night on Fox News, but Fox News airing Mr. De Blasio's press conference in which he has called for the resignation of Andrew Cuomo. Now, I thought that was really a sign of how bad things have gotten for Andrew Cuomo. This is the guy that the mainstream media have been gushing over in the final months of the Trump presidency, saying that he was better than Trump, he was doing all this great stuff, and Trump was just so bad. Turns out, as always with the mainstream media, it was the exact and literal opposite of reality. Turns out that Andrew Cuomo was one shady, immoral son of a gun who virtue signalled on Twitter like a lot of other mainstream personalities do. But behind the scenes, he was hollow, he was shallow, he was manipulative, and he was very evil. This is a recurrent theme we have to see. But let's check out this clip of Bill De Blasio throwing his former best friend in the whole wide world, Andrew Cuomo, under the bus. So we'll get into that now, but if you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video around. Doing those little things help this channel out. We are only a small channel. We are demonetized and shadow banned at the moment. So if you could do those things, share it on social media. It could help this tiny little channel grow. Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's check this out.
This breaking news, it's also in the former epicenter of COVID-19 as we know it. Different subject matter. New York City Mayor Bill De Blasio today has now commented on the growing sexual harassment and assault accusations against Governor Cuomo. Here's the mayor.
It's deeply troubling, the specific allegation that the governor called an employee of his, someone who he had power over, called them to a private place, and then sexually assaulted her is absolutely unacceptable. It is disgusting to me. And he can no longer serve as governor.
I want to point out a couple of things. One, this is the first time that Mayor de Blasio has directly said the governor should resign. It comes after those new details from reports on Cuomo's sixth accuser. The mayor has previously said that if the claims against the governor had proved to be true, then he should resign. So pointing that out now. But now, a different take. He's calling for Cuomo to step down immediately.
Right, so let's go back and watch again. As always, there are some points I would like to make, some valid points that I feel that need to be made. So let's go back.
Have this breaking news. It's also in the former epicenter of COVID-19 as we know it. Different subject matter. New York City Mayor Bill De Blasio today has now commented on the growing sexual harassment and assault accusations against Governor Cuomo. Here's the mayor.
It's deeply troubling, the specific allegation that the governor called an employee of his, someone who he had power over, called them to a private place, and then sexually assaulted her is absolutely unacceptable. It is disgusting to me. And he can no longer serve as governor.
So, to see this is a sign of how bad things have gotten for Andrew Cuomo. This is the guy who was fated as a presidential candidate. This is the guy who won an Emmy, right? An Emmy award for when he came up and grandstanded in front of everyone about how great his response to the COVID situation was, even though behind the scenes his response directly led to the deaths of tens of thousands of elderly people who never needed to die. Okay, you have to ask, why would somebody do that? This isn't just negligence, right? What he did with the care home scandal putting young people, or relatively young people, with COVID into care homes, right? Even though Trump ordered that big ship, I've forgotten its name, it was kitted out to accommodate COVID patients. It was in the dock in New York. Instead of putting them there, Andrew Cuomo ordered that they be put into care homes where elderly people are. Elderly people, these are care homes full of elderly people with pre-existing health conditions. This is beyond negligence. How can you do something that insane, right? How can you do something that negligent, right? Now, I'm sure you've seen the footage of, it was a while ago, there was footage of a younger man in his 20s, maybe 30s, who was assaulting two elderly patients in a care home, right? That was one of the people who was put into the nursing homes. He was one of the COVID patients who was put in there. It wasn't shown on mainstream media. You probably saw it on social media. They didn't want you to see it because of the paradigm. It was a younger African American male assaulting two elderly white patients in the care home. So obviously they don't want people to see that type of thing. They want to keep it on the hush hush. But that man was a man who was put into the care home. They were the type of people infecting the elderly people with COVID. You can't make that decision without the intention to harm people. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that, in my own opinion, it's just my opinion, Andrew Cuomo did things with the knowledge that people could potentially be hurt or even killed by the virus. And I would say that what backs up my claim is the fact that this man clearly has a track record for doing things to people that they don't want to have done to them, as we've seen with this.
I want to point out a couple of things. One, this is the first time that Mayor De Blasio has directly said the governor should resign. It comes after those new details from reports on Cuomo's sixth accuser, the mayor.
So this isn't the first victim of Andrew Cuomo, or accuser I should say, because regardless of whether it's left or right, white or black, Democrat, Republican, conservative or liberal, I do believe that people should always be given the right to a fair trial and should be innocent until proven guilty. With the care home scandal, this is beyond the innocent until proven guilty phase. We know that he put people into care homes knowing that they were going to infect the elderly, right? But with these, it is not one accuser, it's two, then three, then four, then five, and now we have 6 women who have came forward, all who worked for him, right? Saying that he did some extremely manipulative things to try to get them to engage in behaviour that they didn't want to engage in with Andrew Cuomo, right? That's 6. And what we're all seeing is what's in front of the screen, yeah? What's happening behind the scenes must be that much worse that it's put even Bill De Blasio in a position where he is asking the governor of his own state, that's New York, to resign, right? Bill De Blasio being the mayor of New York, he's asking the governor of his own state, Andrew Cuomo, to resign. So what's happening behind the scenes? Because as I said, we're only seeing what they want us to see. So you have to think about what the hell's going on behind those closed, behind those curtains, behind the screens, and ask, is it even worse? Is there more than 6? Is there 7, 8, 9, 10 accusers? Who knows?
Mayor has previously said that if the claims against the governor had proved to be true, then he should resign. So pointing that out now. But now,
I mean, that's a good point. He said before that if they were proven to be true, that then he should resign. Now he's asking him flat out to resign. Okay, this is what I mean about things happening behind the scenes, because his position has shifted. This is Bill De Blasio. Bill De Blasio's position has shifted. He is saying now that Andrew Cuomo should flat out resign, whereas before he was saying that if he was found guilty, he should resign. So something has happened behind the scenes. What it is, I don't know.
Now, a different take. He's calling for Cuomo to step down immediately.
Yeah, so that's the end of the clip. I do think that a lot of Democrat, and to be fair, establishment legacy Republicans, the Rhino type Republicans, are people who use Twitter to virtue signal to deflect away from the fact that inside they are hollow, what I call hollow nuts. I actually got that phrase from the Second World War. People often described the communists in Russia as the hollow nuts, right? And that's something that you can apply to modern day communists, socialists, left-wing people in general. I find that they often are hollow nuts. What I mean by that, and if you apply a modern tint to it, is that they virtue signal on the outside, okay? On the outside of their shell, they are the best people ever. They are the most moral people ever. They get all this moral indignation over X, Y, Z issues. They preach about climate change and lowering carbon emissions. They want open borders, and so on and so on and so on. However, if you pierce through their shell and look on the inside, it's hollow. There's nothing there, right? For example, they will fly around the world like John Kerry on a private jet. That's the part on the inside he doesn't want you to know about. He just wants you to focus on his shell, which is him preaching to the world about climate change and carbon emissions. He doesn't want you looking on the inside of his shell, which is hollow, which is him flying around the world on a private jet, and so on and so on and so on. You can keep adding different examples. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because that is what Andrew Cuomo is. He is a hollow nut. He wins Emmys on the outside. He gets gloried by the mainstream media on the outside. And he gets feted as a Democrat presidential candidate on the outside. But on the inside, he is a hollow nut. So I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video around. There's share buttons down below. It'll just literally share it to your social media platforms. I need your help now more than ever because we are shadow banned. And it's hard, very hard, to grow on YouTube in the modern era. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.